So, this news kind of came out of nowhere. Suga is now an investor in a Major League Baseball team. And not just any team either. It's the Oakland Athletics, aka the Moneyball team, soon to be reborn in Las Vegas. And he's not doing it alone. He's teaming up with Park Chan-ho, who's a Korean's original MLB trailblazer. So at first glance, it's a super cool and unexpected move. But as always with BTS related news, there might be a bit more going on under the surface. So let's talk about what this means, why it matters, and what armies could be really thinking. Okay. First of all, for those of you who don't know, Park Chan-ho is widely regarded as a national sports hero in Korea. He was the first Korean player to make it to MLB, Major League Baseball, and paved the way for future generations. And his success with teams like the LA Dodgers earned him the nickname Korean Express or Korean 특급. And to this day, he symbolizes Korean pride in global sports. Now, that being said, younger generations nowadays mostly know him for his too much talker image, the long-winded, overly passionate talker meme. And this has made him a kind of a wholesome, unintentionally funny online personality. That said, both men are serious about what they care about. Park Chan-ho still carries weight in baseball and sports business circles in Korea, and Yoongi has always loved baseball, as we'll be talking about soon. Now, it's a bit awkward that the exclusive news yesterday came from Korea Economic Daily, 한국경제, which is the media agency that has been targeting HYBE regarding the IPO that happened years ago. That said, the content itself is actually pretty interesting and could help us understand Suga better, so I decided to make this video. Okay, so let's go through this article, which I have translated fully into English. All right, this was released by 한국경제 on July 4th, titled Exclusive, Park Chan-ho and BTS SUGA make major investments to become shareholders in MLB's Oakland Athletics. Baseball legend Park Chan-ho and BTS SUGA are set to become shareholders in the Oakland Athletics, the Major League Baseball team made famous by the film Moneyball. I have actually watched this film, I think last year or a couple years ago. I quite loved it. The team, currently in the process of relocating to Las Vegas and building a new stadium, is raising large-scale funding. And Park Chan-ho and SUGA have agreed to invest 70 million USD, which is approximately 95.5 billion Korean won. Now, I'm not sure if, I think it's the entire amount of the fund that Park Chan-ho is building with SUGA. We'll be talking about that soon. With this move, many are anticipating a high-profile collaboration between the Athletics and two of Korea's most iconic figures, a trailblazing athlete and a world-renowned musician. A strategic investment for the new stadium. According to sources in the investment banking industry on July 4th, Park Chan-ho's sports management company, Team 61, will lead the 70 million USD investment into the Athletics. Okay, so there we go. The article is talking about it. Team 61 is forming a private equity fund that will acquire newly issued shares from the franchise. Once the deal is complete, the fund will hold an estimated 2 to 3% stake in the team. The fund's limited partners include Team 61, BTS SUGA, Samcheoli Group Chairman Lee Man-duk, Accent Partners CEO Hwang In-sun, and Mike Ju, Global COO of Investment Banking at Bank of America Merrill Lynch. So some big names out there, including SUGA, are partnering in this project. The Athletics were founded in 1901 by legendary MLB manager and owner Connie Mack and are one of the oldest franchises in American baseball, the article says. Though the team has won the World Series 9 times, recent years have seen steep decline. Known as one of the league's most financially constrained clubs, the A's have consistently struggled to attract top talent and perform competitively. So to be honest, I don't know much about baseball. I'm not a baseball guy, but based on my research, their nickname is A's. And by the way, if you are a lover of baseball, feel free to leave comments to add more information to this news, what you know about that I don't know about. Okay. All right, back to the article. In the 2024 season, the Athletics had the lowest payroll in the league at $62 million. But based on my research, the figure is actually $47.1 million. Again, if you know the information here, correct information, please feel free to add. And the article says their performance reflected it. They currently sit at the bottom of the American League West. The drop in performance has driven away fans as well. The team's average home attendance this season was just 11,528, the lowest among all 30 MLB teams. After more than 50 years in Oakland, the team officially decided to move. Las Vegas was chosen as a new home, and construction is already underway for a new stadium, scheduled for completion in 2028. The total cost of the project is estimated at $1.75 billion. Wow. And the current investment round, including the one involving Park and Suga, the article says, is being used to help fund this effort. So here's an article that I found from June 23rd of this year. A's launched $1.75 billion ballpark build with funding puzzle still unsolved. So this was only a couple weeks ago. Now back to the article. The A's are aiming for a full-scale revival in Las Vegas. The city is already home to several successful professional teams, including the NFL's Raiders, the NHL's Golden Knights, and the WNBA's Aces, all of which enjoy strong fan bases. The hope is that by relocating, the Athletics can tap into the same energy and rebuild both their roster and their finances. Better performance, a stronger fan base, and improved profitability are the goals behind this investment initiative. It's against this backdrop, the article says, that Park Chan-ho and his partners decided to step in with substantial capital. Now, what could Park Chan-ho and Suga bring to the table? The article says there's growing interest in how Park Chan-ho and Suga, now set to become shareholders of the Athletics, might collaborate with the team moving forward. Park Chan-ho, who played for popular MLB teams like the LA Dodgers and Texas Rangers before finishing his career with Korea's Hanwha Eagles, has largely stepped back from direct involvement in baseball in recent years. While he has worked as a commentator, he hasn't taken on any major hands-on roles within the sport. But with this investment, some speculate he could take on a more active position within the Athletics organization. Fans are also looking forward to potential collaboration between the Athletics and BTS, especially as the group prepares for a full return following the members' military service. Among the group, Suga is known for his deep love of baseball. The article says, back when Lee Hyun-jin was pitching for the Dodgers, Suga visited Dodger Stadium in person, which drew a lot of attention from fans. And yes, I found this footage that was uploaded by LA Dodgers themselves on X or Twitter with the caption, Yoongi meeting the Korean monster, which is the nickname for Lee Hyun-jin. And this was from May 8th, 2019. Back to the article, there's also speculation that the Athletics might begin targeting Korean players more actively. To date, no Korean player has debuted in MLB under the Athletics franchise. While Park Hyo-jun currently plays for one of their minor league affiliates, he has yet to reach the majors. With this new wave of investment, there's a possibility the Athletics will strategically pursue Korean talent as part of a broader effort to grow their Korean fan base. And there we go, the end of the article, written by a journalist named Park Chung-hwan. Okay, so pretty interesting, huh? And let's be clear. For fans who know Yoongi for armies, this actually makes sense. It's been open for years about his love for baseball. In fact, I found this interview footage from 2014 where the BTS members talk about their favorite baseball teams, and each member has chosen or said that they're rooting for teams in their hometown. For example, Suga is from Daegu, right? And he roots for Samsung Lions, which is a baseball team based in Daegu. And that's kind of funny. So Namjoon, Hoseok, and Jimin and Jungkook talk about their favorite teams in their hometown. Meanwhile, Seokjin is being simply honest by saying that he doesn't like baseball. So I found it kind of funny. So in fact, and by the way, I also found this photo released by Suga himself through a BTS TWT official account on X or on Twitter. And this was from November 11th, 2014, with the caption that says, haha, Samsung wins, or Samsung won the whole league. And he has posted his jersey with, Samsung Lions jersey with his name on it with the number 93. And he posted on April 7, 2016, with the photo of his new stadium. The caption reads, 새 작업실, new stadium. And yeah, he has posted multiple times, his referencing his love for baseball through the jersey of his favorite team in Korea, Samsung Lions. Now, like the article said, he visited Dodger Stadium during Ryu Hyun-jin's prime. Talks about the sport, and he talks about the sport like someone who studies it and tends to move quietly with intention. In fact, Suga even collaborated with NBA. And in April 2023, Suga was named an NBA Global Ambassador. And he participated in official NBA content, attended games in the US, and was even featured courtside, during playoffs. So this adds even more credibility to his image as someone who isn't just a casual sports fan, but someone deeply engaged with the sports world. But this time, it's not just a celebrity endorsement. His putting actual money, right? Like real equity into an MLB team. And not just any team, but the Moneyball team, like I said, which has a kind of cult status among sports and analytics fans. Now, like I pointed out before, what complicates this announcement is the source of the news. It came from Korea Economic Daily, 한국경제, which is an outlet that has been openly critical of HYBE. And this could make the timing feel a bit more political. Why would this outlet, out of all places, be first to break BTS-related investment news? Did someone involved with the funding leak it? Was this intended to frame the story in a certain way before a big hit could own the narrative? I don't know the answers. So for armies who have spent the past few months or years hyper aware of how the media frames BTS and who benefits from those narratives, this could matter. It doesn't make the investment any less real. Let me be clear about that. But it reminds us that even good news is often used strategically, especially when big money and bigger reputations are involved. So as always, armies are less concerned with the business itself than with how it is being presented. If Yoongi is genuinely involved because he wants to be, because he believes in the opportunity, fans will support it, wholeheartedly. But if this turns into a PR move where his name and image are used without context, that's where trust could break down a bit. So what I'm curious about is, what is Suga's actual role? Right now we don't know much. Is he just a limited partner contributing capital behind the scenes? We don't know. Or is he expected to play a visible, brand-facing role in the Athletics' rebranding efforts as they move to Las Vegas? We don't know. If it's the former, fantastic. Smart investments, long-term thinking, and a natural extension of his interest. But if it's the latter, armies will want to know that it's on his terms. not just a way for others to leverage his name, image, or fan base for marketing purposes. But given that Yoongi tends to move quietly and deliberately with intention, I believe that he will make some, smart and great decisions. And what else? Based on the article, the Athletics are betting on a fresh start in Vegas. And Korean investment may be part of their larger plan to expand globally. And K Media is already speculating that the team may now look to sign Korean players or build a Korean fan base, possibly leaning on Suga's influence to do so. And whether this leads to a formal BTS MLB collaboration, that remains to be seen. So this could be a win-win if it's done respectfully and strategically. But yeah, armies are right to be weary of cultural tokenism, so to say, especially if Suga is treated more like a marketing asset than a decision maker, because we have seen enough of that in the global industry already. But at the end of the day, most armies aren't opposed to BTS members building wealth, or influence, or cross-industry partnerships. What they do care about is agency, that the members are leading these moves themselves, and transparency. So if this is just Yoongi making a personal investment in something he loves, great. If it becomes a larger platform for cultural crossover, like K-pop or BTS meets American sports, Korean investors shaping MLB's future, that's pretty fascinating. But either way, armies are watching with open eyes and sharp instincts. Because as much as we love seeing BTS grow into new spaces, we care even more about making sure they're doing it on their own terms. So there we go. I hope that this was informative. I have translated the full Korean article about Suga and Park Chan-wo's investment in the MLB Athletics, and we'll share it on my Patreon. So if you find my work helpful, so go check it out. I will attach a link to it in my description. Now, if you find my work helpful and want to support continued translations and commentary like this, feel free to join me on Patreon. No pressure at all. Your interest and engagement already mean a lot. But for those of you who are already supporting me, thanks a ton. It means a lot. So, but thanks always for thinking critically with me. All right. And if you have opinions and information to add to this discussion, feel free to fill in the gaps and leave your comments. But when you do so, as always, let's stay positive, respectful, and classy. Peace and love. Bye-bye.